And welcome to Anime Club. This week we're I'm afraid to say, obviously, I'm Phoebe. This is Chris. But more importantly, this week we have an absolute delight of a guest. Thank you, calling all the way from India. We're on international time now, folks. Anime Club has gone global.
Hey,
Yes, it's
Please
8:40
introduce yourself.
p.m. IST. I
Yeah.
am Arjun, the artful, known as the Artful Dodger on Instagram. You may have seen my movie reviews on Nerdy Up North, and I'm a huge nerd, film critic. I'm a lawyer by profession, and I love anime. And I'm really honored to be a part of the show. Thank you
Oh,
guys
and
for
it's
inviting me.
absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for giving up your evening to come and talk to us. And we were really excited because you recommended an anime that Chris and I hadn't heard of before, and that was really good fun to watch. So it's been an absolute pleasure not just having you here but also watching your recommendation for this week, which
Right.
is Detective Conan. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. um so like you were telling us a bit about how you discovered this anime before. Do you want to just give us
Yeah,
a rundown?
so
Yeah.
while growing up, I had access to this local channel on TV it's called Hangama TV. It's in Hindi, it's a local channel, and it had these anime dubbed in Hindi, like these Japanese anime, obviously, dubbed in Hindi. And we had a bunch of them growing up, because like Shin-chan, Kochi Kame, and then, of course, Detective Conan. And Detective Conan was called Detective Conan and not Case Closed. Case Closed is the American one. And Case Closed, I started watching that way back in 2007-ish. And it was pretty interesting. Like I had never seen a detective kind of show while growing up, and I had just read the books, and they had been about either Sherlock Holmes or Indian detectives for that matter. And Detective Conan was, you know, I felt it was a combination of both, and it was pretty great. Like how it works out, like how and it's a spoiler alert, and how an adult gets reverted into a kid, and how he goes about using gadgets and solving crimes right from the scratch, and explanations and everything, and how he maintains relations with the other characters, and how he fits into the entire thing, And he's still in the stage of being a kid, and like at times, another spoiler alert, he, accidentally grows back into an adult, but only for like, let's say, an episode or something, and he's back into a kid again. And this is like One Piece level. I mean, it goes on and on and on,
Yeah.
and what the good fact is, like, we get to see new crimes, new mysteries every, new episode or every couple of episodes. And at max they stretch out to like a mega episode of, let's say, 4 episodes combined. And sometimes there have been movies, and there have been a lot of movies. And but it's pretty great. The ride has been pretty great.
Yeah, and I think the writing in this is really good. And it's funny you mentioned Sherlock Holmes and like a kind of Poirot. I was talking to a friend and they were like, what would you say it's like?" And I was like, "It feels very Agatha Christie to me, in that
Right.
kind of it's got like these like really clever crimes that and like a very charismatic sort of central detective character."
Right.
But with also like a bit of Enid Blyton, who, like I don't know if you've read any Enid Blyton, like with like the
Yes.
Fab
Yes, I
Five.
have
It's
a
got that
lot
kind of
going
like
on. Yeah.
kids adventure to it as well.
The famous
That stops
five,
it getting too
Secret
dark.
Seven, yes.
Yeah,
Secret
yeah,
Seven,
yeah,
Famous Five, the Faraway Tree
yeah, yeah.
series, the Also Live in Twins,
Naughtiest girl at
Imaginary
school, which
Towers.
was always my
Oh,
favourite.
yes.
Chris is just rolling his eyes. I think he's about to say no. You were right.
nah,
I
I
thought you were
watched
about to like accuse me of being ridiculous and posh again.
I watched Pokemon and read Haynes manuals when I was a kid.
So, fun fact,
Fair.
I wasn't exposed to manga as a kid too much, except for, when it popped up in some, bookstore or something. But I've always been an anime person. Then after reading the anime, I always moved back to manga to, like, see the differences, and like how,
Yeah.
they've drawn the differences from the manga, the creative differences that have gone into, actually putting it on the screen from, black and white. And there have been notable differences in various issues, like not just Detective Conan, like it. let's say Dragon Ball Z, or let's say Pokemon, or for that matter Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Whenever I look up an anime, there's always that camp of people being like, "Well, the anime is good, but it's got nothing on the manga. It's got to add this." It
Oh
happens
yeah,
all the time. Even like
Yeah.
they've got,
Lord of the
yeah.
Rings, stuff like that. They're like, "Oh well, it's a great film, but they missed out Scarab of the Shire, so it's not that good," kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
It's
one party always says like, the
Yeah,
books are better than the movies.
yeah.
yeah,
And I always think it's unfair to both genres because I think they're two very different ways of telling a story.
Right,
Like the written word versus visual media, like I think to do a good adaptation, you have to do it differently to the book because you don't get things like internal monologue, and you don't get
right.
things like lengthy character exposition because that would be very boring if you saw that on screen. It would just
yeah,
be
Oh
people
yes,
staring
especially if
self-reflectively, and that's not exciting a story to watch.
yeah, I agree 100%. Like
Yeah,
especially with something like Harry Potter, for that matter. I mean, books are somewhat so very different from what's been portrayed in the films, and like that's why now they're getting to make an entire series out of it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I hope they stay true to the books, for that matter. But nonetheless, we are here to discuss Detective Conan, so
But
let's
we're
get
here
on
to
with it.
yeah, indeed. So, how would you describe this show to someone who'd never seen it before?
Um, a masterpiece.
Nice. What was it about though? Give us
It's
like
about
a broad summary.
a broad summary. It's about high school a high school guy very whose dad was a famous mystery novelist, and that inspired him to become a detective, and he was helping the police. He was that famous all across Japan, and then due to the spoiler alert, activities of a criminal gang, he was reverted to a child instead of being killed, and now he's got the opportunity to stay close to his girlfriend and unfortunately her dad, and but he's and solve crime. Like he makes her dad solve the crimes, knocks him out with a tranquilizer gun, and then uses a voice modifier to speak out and explain how the crime was done. That lets him get the credit for that. But at the end of the day, he takes pleasure in doing his own job. He in solving the crime. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, he has to go back to grade school again.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Has the brain of like a brilliant detective is stuck in
Oh
stuck
yes,
colouring.
it's
Yeah.
like a combination of Sherlock Holmes and Hercule Poirot, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. That's an excellent description. Um,
Yeah,
Chris, because you'd never seen this before, what was your first impression?
I thought it was good. I didn't even mind when before he turned into Detective Conan. The what's he called? Shinichi Kudo.
Kenichi
I
Kudo, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even mind him as a normal teenager because he wasn't bad as it. I thought it was weird how the police relied on a teenager to do their job, like, but
I mean, he was snarky as Holmes would go, but then
yeah,
Yeah.
not as cynical though. But yeah,
yeah, but yeah, I really liked even the first episode when it kind of introduced all the characters as well. It was
oh
I really like
yes,
the art style. It is old art style, but it's not as bad as say when we did Escaflowne, which I know as of recording was yesterday, but
right. I mean,
Okay,
it gives
so
you the vibe of being in the 90s, 80s or 90s, but still
yeah,
relevant to modern day.
yeah, yeah.
I mean
It's
the
I think
manga.
it's
Oh, sorry, the manga was released in 1994 and the anime in 96, and it doesn't
Right,
feel that. I mean, there's 1,150 episodes at the minute of that anime, and I
right.
had a glimpse because when I was watching it on Crunchyroll, there was the first two episodes, and then it
Mm-hmm.
skips to like 1,000 odd, and
Oh,
yeah.
the animation
yes.
difference in there is staggering, and I think it still
Oh,
holds
yes.
up as a weekly show.
Yeah.
Weekly Shonen Jump. I think I would say like that's how they call it in Japan. Like it's a
Mhm.
Shonen
Yeah.
Jump
Yeah.
kind of an anime, and yeah, it's a weekly thing.
Yeah.
So as and when the manga releases, I think after a while they adapt it into anime, and yeah, and the episodes just keep on going. So like on Netflix, like how you watch it on Crunchyroll, I was watching it on Netflix because I recently got a connection of my own, and yeah,
Nice. It's
it was pretty great.
I
It's pure nostalgia.
it
Yeah.
it is it does feel very nostalgic, but in a way that isn't it doesn't feel dated necessarily. I don't think, especially in terms of the type of story it's doing. What I really loved as well with the first three episodes is that each
Mm-hmm.
episode was very different, and each
Right,
crime that he's solving is very different. So you don't
right,
feel like it's actually a repetition of the same thing over and over again.
right. And
Um,
I'm pretty amazed, like how the
yeah,
writers like they keep every case so very different, like not alike at all. I mean, that's the ingenuity. I've got to give it to the writers. I mean, how do you come up with new mysteries every week?
They must look at
yeah,
the newspaper and be like, right, I can do something with this.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, reality is
Maybe.
stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. Did you have like a favorite character in this? Because I
Uh,
immediately I was like, there are a lot of characters here who I find very
I
lovely and
think
endearing.
I think in the long run, I would like to bet on Kogoro, like because like he is the blundering person and the person he stumbles upon everything at chance. I mean, we know that Conan is the brightest mind in the room, but it's Kogoro like how he figures his way out of everything. Like even though he's knocked out, how he comes into senses and takes credit for everything. So like he's a character to watch out for. Like he's the underdog,
Yeah, yeah, and he might
and Professor
he
Agasa.
yeah that so
Oh,
Professor Agassa
yes.
was my favorite for sure. Um, but I actually really like, and it's unusual for me to just really like the main character, but in this I really like Detective Conan. I don't find him like smug. He's kind of like a bit sarcastic, but he's
Right,
not like, sometimes I think Sherlock Holmes and Poirot, because they're so smart, they can almost get a bit mean towards other people, whereas with
right,
Detective
Yeah.
Conan you feel like he's actually trying to bring everyone to his conclusion rather than
right,
rub it in their faces. Like I quite liked that take on a very clever man, like a very clever man child.
I don't think he has a
um,
choice with him being a kid because no one listens to him. Because it's just like,
yeah,
I found it surprising where there's this crime scene where there's obviously a fresh dead body, and they're like, oh, there's a bunch of kids here. Well, we'll just leave them in the corner. It's fine.
and how like especially in the first three episodes, like how he gets beaten upon by Kogoro, like
yeah.
what the
It's
hell are you doing over here? I mean, like you're not supposed to be here in the first instance.
I
But
think it's the
then,
90s. Safeguard children's safeguarding was a different thing in the
oh
yeah,
yeah, but
90s.
as in how
yeah,
but as in how
Yeah,
episodes go on, like he stops becoming kind of strict with Conan, like how he is in the initial seasons. I watched
yeah,
until
yeah.
season 8 so far, and yeah, due to the pandemic and after going into masters, I think I didn't get the opportunity to watch more. I will now because I have the Netflix connection and I have little bit more free time.
Yeah, just a little, not loads, but just
No,
enough for a little bit of
yeah,
anime. And that's
yeah,
another thing that I love about 90s anime. We've been doing, actually, Chris and I have been on a bit of a 90s anime kick at the time of we're recording this.
yeah,
Um,
right.
and the episodes are about like 20 minutes
20
max.
minutes exactly.
And
So like
actually, it makes it really watchable.
so
yeah,
you've been exposed to
Yeah.
anime like Inuyasha,
Yeah.
Vampire Hunter D, and those ones. I
yeah,
guess
Yeah.
Captain Tsubasa, probably a little bit of Hungry Heart, those kind of ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. That's what
Yeah.
we're going back because I don't. It's weirdly worked out at the minute where we're just like remembering anime from when we first started watching it. And it was like, oh
Uh,
yeah, I remember having a weird Google search and coming up with this anime here. Let's do an
So
episode
we
on it
have this
because it's
channel. We have
great.
this channel called we have this channel called Animax back in 2000. three or four, and that's where I was exposed to these kind of anime. I'm like, what are these? And they were luckily in English.
Yeah, yeah. For us, it was Cartoon Network, and they had something
Cartoon
called
Network.
Toonami. So
Oh yes,
after a certain time of day, it would switch from being Cartoon Network, where you'd have
network.
like Ed, Ed
Yeah.
and Eddie, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and then it'd switch
Oh
into the
yeah.
anime hour,
Right.
and you'd get Toonami would come on, and and that's where I got a lot of my early anime from. But one of them that have rewatched recently, which was also it's
Mm,
like 1995, I think, was Gundam Wing, which I
Gundam
loved,
Wing.
and I loved going back to it. This gave me the same kind of nostalgia as
I watched
Gundam
Die
Wing because it
Gundam
just
at a point
felt
of time. Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It is
And
good,
I guess
and
you
also
guys had this.
Escaflowne, but I'm not. We're not going to talk about that because that was not so good to revisit.
I guess you guys were exposed to what we didn't have was Adult Swim
Yeah.
as a
Oh
part of
yeah,
Cartoon.
yeah,
I can't
We
yeah.
didn't
remember
have that
watching that growing
entirely.
up.
Can you
I
not? Did
remember
you not
I,
watch like Robot Chicken and stuff?
I did on the internet, but not on the telly,
No.
on the TV.
Fair.
Archer. Yeah, I think Archer
Yeah.
was one of the shows which came on Adult Swim.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love stuff
I
like
do
that, and
love a bit
C
of
Lab
Archer.
2021 and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Fab. So yeah, favorite characters. Chris, what about you? Did you have a?
So, I've it's weird because I do like watching The Scientist and I can't remember his name. Do you know the dad who's the incompetent detective who kind of gets steered by Conan? I love watching
Richard.
them.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Kogoro Mori. Yeah.
Yes, sorry, yeah, Goro. I love watching them as characters, but I think my favorite one will be Conan
Yeah.
because
Right.
he is the most
He
competent, but he
is.
has his own
Yes.
like
He has his quirks.
downfalls with like he's a
Yeah.
kid. He has to get around in inventive ways because it's like, oh yeah, I've solved this murder, I know who it is, but no one will believe it because I'm a literal child wandering a crime scene, so I've got to
Yeah.
figure out a better way of doing it, and it's so inventive. Isn't it the third episode where he chucks an ashtray at someone's head and then knocks them out,
Oh
and then he
yeah.
speaks for them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's lovely. Like I'd say that after like we said, I love it when he chucks an ashtray, but it is fun. It is really funny, and I think the thing I really liked about it is just when there's been this like horrible murder and there's all this tension, something really silly will happen, and it kind of just stops it from getting to be like a really dark, heavy series. It actually keeps it in a kind of like very fun, energetic place. Like
Right.
I think you could watch this with like quite young kids, and it wouldn't be
Right.
scary to
And
them at
Well,
all.
that's
that
the best part, I guess. I like. I mean, it's not too graphic. I mean, for watching it with the family, especially if you have a
Yeah.
kid around.
that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking because even the first episode where there's a roller coaster murder, someone gets decapitated,
Oh
and
yes.
there's, I mean, it doesn't show you it happening. It shows you in flashes, and then it shows you a decapitated body,
Oh yes.
where they've just got like a no head, obviously, and there's blood there. But I'm sure to get around the age limit or like the sensors, they make the blood a different color. It was white on
Right.
the one that I watched, and you
Right.
don't really register it as a decapitation. You just say, "Oh,
Yeah.
there's been another murder," right?
On Netflix, it's pretty gory. I mean, this was red.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's really interesting because this is something that happens with 90s anime a lot, in that there was a lot of different censorship laws for different
Right.
countries, and so you
Correct.
notice there are like the animators would change certain scenes and transformation scenes to fit different countries that they were like exporting the anime to, and they did it the same. They did it the same with like a really famous version of it is where they do it with the storylines as well. So in America, in order to keep Sailor Moon like rated
Mm-hmm.
for young children, two of the
Correct.
characters are supposed to be like girlfriends, and
Right.
they change it to cousins, but then it makes it
Um,
really weird because the only thing they do is change the fact that they're like romantic into being cousins, but then they don't
I
change
think
any of the
that's
dialogue, and so these cousins are
yeah.
just very
I think
romantically
they do the
charged.
same
It's
thing.
weird.
I think they do the same thing with.
Yeah.
I think there's another anime called Cardcaptor Sakura. They do the
Yes.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. 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 So it's and it is kind of fascinating when you notice those differences when you're watching some, because some, I'm a big, like, I tend to watch stuff in dubs, um
Right.
and then when you go back and watch the subs later, you're like, oh, that's very different.
There's a
So yeah,
famous
so
one in Dragon Ball Z with where they go
Mm-hmm.
to Hell Town, I think. Do you know when they have the
Uh,
it? I can't remember what they changed it to now, but instead of saying hell, they say something else.
yeah.
The
oh yeah.
eternal home for
So
losers or something.
oh yeah, I guess that's when after the Cell Saga or something. Before the
Yes.
Boo Saga
Yes.
starts, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
But fun fact: up until 2013, in India, we used to have uncensored TV. I mean, like shows like Supernatural. Like we
Yeah. Yeah.
had the literally like the decapitating scenes, blood and gore of the show going on, and then I think in 2013 there was some new rule passed, and then yeah, all those scenes were like censored out from TV.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
then what's the point of watching American television if you're not gonna see all that?
yeah.
Yeah. And there is something, because we have something over here called the watershed. So it used to be that you, after a certain time of day, was where you would
Right.
get all
Yeah.
of like the violent
Oh,
stuff, and also
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
the sexy stuff,
I
and
remember
you'd have
that
like a pre-watershed version and then a post-watershed
exactly.
version. Yeah,
Is it
and
So
so,
nine
like,
by
o'clock or something?
yeah, and
right,
even now on streaming services, there's still an option where you can like turn off all the swearing for stuff,
right. So I
and
remember
stuff like that. Yeah,
as a kid while watching Cartoon Network, I think by 9 p.m. I think it just ended, and then a channel called TNT started, and like that used to have all the American Western stuff going on and adult stuff
yeah,
going on, and like and you weren't supposed to watch beyond that.
yes, yeah. There was always a rule like you're not allowed to watch after this time, and it's like, oh yeah, but you'll find a way. Kids find a
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So, in terms of like how you would want, so obviously we've watched the first 3 episodes for the purpose of
Right,
this.
right.
Uh, what were some of the highlights in those first 3 episodes for you
Uh,
guys?
Highlights. Okay, if I go with it by episode wise. So the first episode, I think, you know how Conan explains how the murder, like the girl with the pearl necklace, carried out the murder
Yeah.
in the first episode. I think that was the highlight of the first episode.
Yeah.
And along with that, how the drug was forced down his throat when he was, knocked out. I mean, how do you force something down someone's throat when they are knocked out? That with too
Yeah.
with water. I mean, that's not explainable.
Yeah.
You
It
rub it
would
like
let's
they like, like where you'll give dogs medication.
exactly.
Just like,
I mean, it's not a dissolvable tablet. They showed it as a capsule,
Yeah.
yeah,
and
yeah. Surely it'd be easier to inject.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could have just finished him off and be done with it. Why test the new poison and then let's see if this person dies or not? They have to keep monitoring him. Like, why go through all that hassle? I mean, that would have ended the show for us, but you know,
Yeah, yeah. It would be very, very short. We wouldn't have 1,000 and plus episodes.
yeah.
It's weird how
Second
no one
episode.
decided to test it as well before taking it on the field. So they've got
Yeah.
this little case with these tablets on with experimental poisons, and no one thought, should we try it in the lab before we give this to a guy?
Yeah.
Nah, just give him
Let's
it.
just go straight in to give it to a guy.
Oh yes.
I
Second,
kind of love
yeah.
that. I was willing to suspend my disbelief on that. But I agree. I really liked the bit. I think this is a sign of a really good like murder mystery detective show. Is is the reveal the most exciting part of the show, because it should be every time.
I
Like
agree.
who did the crime should be the most exciting bit, and I think Detective Conan nails it every time.
Every
Um,
time. And
yeah,
second episode, I would say it has. I think it had two highlights. First, when Shinichi was explaining that he is Shinichi to Dr. Agasa,
yeah,
when And the last part of it, I think, during the climax when Ran comes in and, KOs the guy with karate.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the third episode, I would say it's a very cheeky moment. Is like when, the Japanese celebrity, like she turns up at Kogoro's office, and like Kogoro's like, come back another day. And then he realizes, and then he rushes into the room and he changes into this tux with his, rose
Yeah.
hanging out, like, anything for you, miss.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. It has lots of lovely, like very funny little sweet moments to it. I also really liked, weirdly, I really like the scenes where he's just like walking with his friends and talking things through and trying to like adjust to
Mm-hmm.
be like his new life in a way. I actually found those like little slice of life moments really endearing. Um
Right.
yeah,
What
like I
wait?
think
Like
it's
like when he launches that kicks a football at someone instead of kicking them because he's like, oh yes, I'm a child. I cannot put any weight behind the kick, so I'll boot him with a
Right.
football.
that's
That's when the
funny.
gadgets come to use. That's when
Yeah.
the gadgets come to use later on. Like, I'm giving us big spoiler over here. Like, he gets shoes, which are, let's say designed by Professor Agasa, and then I think you need to watch more before I say anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I,
and
I
and I oh sorry, go for it.
no, I was just gonna say I really want to watch ahead with my son. He's 5, and I think it's kind of appropriate for him because there's not any
It
like
is.
it's more
Right. I
deducing
mean,
things than violence or gore.
Yeah, yeah.
right. It'll be pretty entertaining for him because, like, it's a show full of kids. He might find it easy to relate to, even though he might not understand it at the moment. Later
Yeah.
on, I'm sure when he is, growing up as a teenager or a young adolescent, he would probably, just one day log into Crunchyroll or Netflix for that matter, and then why not give this another watch? It's like what's been happening to me over the years. It's like when I watched the things that were on air, I was pretty young. I was like, let's say, in my early 20s, late 20s, and now when I'm certain things which I watch them for the second or third time, I'm like, okay, so this is the thing, like this is how everything connects to everything. And like then I think when the realization hits, it's like you'll be mind blown.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I think it'll be all right for your son. I think the only thing you need to worry about is it going to inspire him to commit crimes?
Oh,
Uh, Maybe solve crimes and
But like hopefully it'll be the opposite, yeah.
so there
I can.
is this show in India
I
called
don't think your
CID.
son will commit crimes. Yeah.
So in India, there's this show called CID. It's the live action show about the crime investigation department of the police, and they have solved many crimes that it's been going on for like 23 years and or more, 20 years
Yeah.
at least. And like criminals in India, like they have been getting inspired by these and committing crimes in real life.
Oh
I
really?
wonder if anyone's watched Detective Conan and genuinely, obviously not your son, Chris. Your son is a lovely young man who would not hurt a fly.
4 episodes in, he'll outsmart me.
Yeah.
I
He's
love his
dangerously
I love his
clever.
logic
He
altogether. I
is.
love his logic altogether, turning you
Yeah.
into a bumblebee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He'd probably turn you into a child so that you guys can play more. That would be the
probably.
extent of Finley's crimes. Or your son's crimes, sorry. Feel free to bleep his
It's
name
fine.
out.
No, no.
No. Um, but I do wonder if anyone's ever watched Detective Conan and gone, do you know what? I could use a roller coaster to decapitate someone.
I think
Okay.
that's too much effort. Push him down the
Also,
stairs.
I'm.
But let's
How did
say
the?
sorry, please go
Oh
on.
no, sorry. Oh no, were you about to tell us how you would murder someone if you were going to?
No, 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 no. I would use it for academic purposes for that matter. For like, for example, I remember, okay, this is getting a bit too personal. Like for one of my courses in university, I remember like they had asked us for a course to, come up with a crime story. And then I was like thinking like, what innovative crime story that I can write, and like it can't be something realistic, something whatever. And then I stumbled upon some episode of Detective Conan, like why not write it in my own words? Why not rename the
Yeah,
characters?
yeah.
Why not
Yeah.
create everything like your own universe, but the story would be intact? And then I did, and then I did, and then
Your
yeah,
only
I mean,
crime was plagiarism. It's fine.
it was plagiarism. I mean, the story was plagiarized, but yeah, I mean, it was good enough to get a passing mark. So yeah,
That's fine. And you know, Mark Twain said, "Good authors are inspired. Great authors steal." So if Mark Twain
didn't
said
know
it,
that quote. Didn't know that quote, but we'll keep
yeah,
that
yeah,
in
it's a
mind.
good one. I think he probably stole it from someone else. So yeah. So did you think? So after having watched 3 episodes, obviously we know, Arjun, you're on like season 8.
Yeah.
So we
Oh
know
yeah.
that you would watch more than 3 episodes. Chris, would you watch past 3 episodes? Are you going to be like slowly feeding this into your anime
I am because
routine?
I don't think it's a one that you can kind of switch off and put on the background. You have to actually watch it. But
Yeah.
Oh yes.
yeah, because like it's the little things where even like in episode 3 there was a guy
Mm-hmm.
that killed himself, and you're like, how did he come to that conclusion? You found him with a knife in his back, and he's like, oh yeah, it's this old trick, this famous trick where you put it in an ice block. I can tell from the dint in the floor and this and blah blah blah. And it's
Yeah.
just like, I would never have thought of that at the start of the episode or when you discovered the body.
All right.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's not a switch off anime, but it's like a yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I also think that that was another thing that I really liked about the series, and is I
Mm-hmm.
also think a really good mark of good murder mystery detective shows, which is the thing that me and my mum watched a lot together when we were living together. Me and my mum would watch basically murder mysteries like NCIS and all the Agatha Christie's and Sherlock Holmes and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it's the good ones are the ones where they give you all the clues, but you still can't
Right.
work it out until the end. And in Detective Conan, all the clues are there, but you just feel like an idiot because you can't put them together. And then you watch it again, and you're like, I could have figured it out if I was as smart as Detective Conan. And
Yeah,
that's, I think, really good
Yeah.
writing because they're not like withholding something so that you can't work it out. It's just that the problem is so often unique and strange that you don't think to put the clues together in a certain way. And I loved that.
yeah,
Right. So, if I
Yeah.
may point out in that incident, like let's say if you're, I don't know if it's available, that option is available, that version is shown on Crunchyroll or Net. It is shown on Netflix for that matter. Like at the end of each episode, like for the next episode, they said like Conan's next hint, ice block, or let's say bloodstain or something,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it gives you the motivation to think, okay, this has something to do with this. Then it gets you to and Conan always appears in like I challenge you or challenge me in the next episode or something like that. And like, okay, now you're talking. Now you
Yeah.
have some motivation.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
didn't know
also
that.
you feel like you're solving the crime with Detective Conan, which I think is a really lovely way to engage your audience and brave as a writer because if you don't have a clever solution, it's going to be worked out really quickly. So it's kind of like I think it's like the writers room for Detective Conan are just going, "Do you know what? Have a go if you think you're hard enough."
Yeah.
And it's like fair play to them. I think it's really ballsy and I love that. Yeah.
See, I never watched
Yeah.
the after the closing of an
After the
Credits.
anime
credits.
because I never
Credits,
want to
yeah.
see a preview of the next episode. Cause see, I don't watch like movie
Oh.
trailers very much as well because
Oh.
I don't want to know what's going to happen. Just in
Oh.
case they give you too much.
You
So I
can
never.
you can do that. I mean, you can watch the teaser instead of the trailer.
Mm,
I mean, that's
Yeah,
how it's
yeah.
done in India. Like they release a teaser, then after a while the trailer, then comes the movie. And like if you watch the teaser, like it gets you going enough. Like okay, if I don't want too many spoiler alerts, I won't watch the trailer. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, But in the end of the end of each episode of Detective Conan, like you don't have a choice. Like if you want to get into the nostalgia or something of hearing the entire ending credits or the song, and then by the end of the song, like right after the song, they say like Conan's next hint is this, and like, oh, you're done for.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you? That was another thing actually we didn't touch on, but I thought it was again, and I think is a hallmark of '90s anime
Correct.
soundtracks. The soundtrack in
Oh
Detective
yes.
Conan, absolutely amazing. And one of the things that because you mentioned the Hindi introduction, so I went and looked that up as well, and I was like, this is a tune,
yeah,
really good fun. So and I kind of loved, yeah, the music throughout of it was just really like great. That's all I
Right.
had to say on it. What do you guys
I've
think?
I've still.
Absolutely. I think. Oh, please go on.
I was just gonna say that I've never heard the English one yet. I've heard the
Oh,
Japanese
I've
one
heard
and
the
I've heard the
English
Hindi.
version, Japanese version, and the Hindi version. So Hindi versions are always more catchy than the English
I was
ones.
by far, I think it was more catchy than the Japanese and the English one. The Hindi version is like the one that I'd be adding to a playlist for sure.
Right.
Yeah. So
And
yeah,
so yeah, so what yeah, about the soundtrack, which I was saying, I think it's very essential to any kind of show. I mean, even to a TV series or to a movie for that matter. Like if the soundtrack isn't good, I mean, people won't be, attracted to it in the first place. And like especially to anime, I mean, if it
yeah,
identifies with pop culture or with something, entirely original of its own, and it's catchy for that matter, then all the more reason why people will watch it. Like, let's say people still remember like Rock the Dragon tune from Dragon Ball Z, and like it's still a old time thing. Or like let's say the tune from Cowboy Bebop, and like Naruto. Naruto has so many openings, so many closings. I mean,
Yeah,
like uh, Bluebird, or let's say Go, or like those ones.
yeah.
Like you actually sit through the entire thing instead of let's skip to the end of it.
yeah,
Naruto has got so many good. Sorry, we're gonna go down a Naruto hole now, um,
Right.
because Chris and I did Naruto recently on the podcast, and
Correct.
both of
Yes.
us it was the soundtrack for both of us was like, oh my god, instant nostalgia, and we
yeah.
were like
Oh,
sending
it's
each
my
other the
ringtone.
different opening titles. Yeah, they're
Oh
so
no
So
way.
good.
the Bluebird, the instrumental version of Bluebird is my ringtone for my iPhone.
Yeah, nice. It's for me as well. It's the closing song. Um,
Right.
in the like early series because that is a song that I sat down and like I think I've already told this story on the podcast, so I won't go into like loads of detail. But I basically like sat down and tried to learn it myself in the hopes that it would impress people, and I think I'm the only one who enjoyed it, but I still had a good time. um, yeah. So in terms of looking back from
Mm-hmm.
2025,
Right.
how do you feel this holds up? We've talked a bit. We said, yeah, it the animation style changes through the series, and I think you can see a
Mm-hmm.
difference from the early to the later series.
Right.
Um,
So I think that has got to do with every anime for that matter,
yeah,
which continues for that long.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Even
And
I was talking to Lee and Jake about even One Piece because that was started in 2000 and odd, and I was starting from scratch, and I'm looking at the first episode to clips of
Mm-hmm.
new episodes, and it's just like night and day again. So it always progresses, I think, with the time and
yeah,
Right.
popularity.
yeah, and I thought the animation obviously it is 90s anime, so you can tell that it isn't modern. What I thought
Yeah,
holds up very well though is like thematically story wise, the story doesn't feel that old. I feel like you could have exactly the same
Mm-hmm.
script with updated anime and you would never know that it was originally released in 1996, and I thought that was
Right.
a mark of a classic, right?
yeah,
Exactly. But the
Yeah.
picture quality is just too HD right now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, more graphics, more, high definition of everything. Like when it started, like it was like, kind of the fourth or the fifth draft of the original drawings, which, went into play. And but by now it's like, I don't know, like the 30th draft or something. And like every everything is more detailed and everything, and technology has improved so much, and then obviously
Mm.
people don't want to fall behind unless the anime is basically based in the olden times, like then, or it has that kind of a vibe, like it gives off like the 70s vibe or 90s vibe, and you want it to be, purposely want it to be that way.
Yeah. And I always think that the one of the telling things is the screen composition. So like when
Oh
you
Yeah.
see
yes.
something that's in like a lovely square, you think, I know the type of telly that this would have been shown on, and the telly would have been enormous, but the screen wouldn't have been that big, and it'd been very deep.
Right. Oh yes,
I,
because
And
like
there is like,
yeah,
yeah, and this does have that kind of like square nostalgia framing to it. Yeah, it's
because the
lovely.
telly used to be like, like a cuboid or something, and now it's just an LED screen, flat screen.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I can always
yeah.
tell when I
Although,
try to find pictures for the thumbnail what resolution that they mostly have, and this when you were looking for the original pictures, it's just like it's very small, bad resolution.
yeah, yeah,
Oh yes.
It
yeah,
was the same for Naruto as well. To be fair,
Mm-hmm. I agree.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
once it made the shift to Shippuden, you could see the difference.
yeah, definitely.
Very much, for sure. Um,
And now even Boruto for that matter, like if you guys have watched Boruto at all, like it's completely different. I mean, I hate the animation that the change that has gone. Like you expected, Naruto to be more cool looking. You expected the animation to be like way more superior or something like. I mean, like, Boruto has kind of messed it up.
Right. So I
um,
haven't seen Boruto mainly because it will make me feel really old because I've grew up with Naruto Shippuden as
And
well.
and you
If
and
you
I
can't
Masashi,
you
yeah.
can't watch that plucky young orphan turn into a dad. It's too
yeah,
real.
Yeah, and fun fact, Masashi Kishimoto, like the creator of Naruto, like
Yeah,
he has said that Boruto isn't canon.
right. Oh, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
another reason why I won't watch it.
Oh yeah.
That's the cool
Yeah.
nerdy reason not to watch it, but that's not the real reason you're not watching it. Is
I
because
don't want to feel
But Boruto
old.
is
you're
getting a
you're
sequel.
upset that he doesn't have enough back pain to really be a dad
Yeah, yeah,
Can imagine.
after his life of acrobatics and ninjaness.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
but he the he if you watch Boruto somehow, like you find like if now that he is the head of the village, he is the Kage, and you know he has so many duties to manage, like he is needs to be at different places at different points of time, so he there are those multiple shadow clones of him, and like
yeah, yeah,
in critical moments, like when the chakra runs out, like the shadow clones just disappear, and then some mishap happens, and then Boruto just gets so pissed off and like, dad, why can't you be in person?
yeah. And
Yeah.
also, who hasn't wanted to be able to split themselves in two just to accomplish stuff in the day? I think that's very relatable.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the time turner from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the other skill that I'm always like, if I could have a superpower just over, it's always teleportation, because there's
Oh
so much
yes.
time between, like, when you're just going from point A to B, and I just want to be there and get stuff done rather than have to like do the bouncing around.
That's like, there's this another anime called Doraemon. I mean, you guys have obviously heard about it. And like,
Yeah.
there is this gadget called Anywhere Door, and like that door just opens into another place on the earth, and like,
Be
oh, you're
so
just there.
good. Yeah. Or like in Howl's Moving Castle, when you've got Howl's door that he could just go to
Oh
another
yes.
town. Yeah, yeah. Super. Um, I think that's it. This time for our closing thoughts. So, like, obviously, we all really loved this, and we definitely would be recommending this as a go and
Oh, I
check
have
out
a huge
Detective
list with
Conan
me. I have a
for
huge list
sure.
with me, which you guys would love.
Um, well, actually, I haven't told Chris this. I was gonna say, so next, we've got a few things scheduled for December, but
Mm-hmm.
in January, at the moment, we haven't decided what we're going to be doing. So this episode's going to be airing in December. And then
Right.
January, we don't know what we're going to be doing. And I was going to ask you for a recommendation on the fly of like an anime that you think we should check out in the new year. What do you think?
Okay. I have plenty, but it depends on the genre. Like if you're looking for something comedic, I would say there's this one particularly called Kochikame,
Okay.
and it's about this the regular activities of a police station in Japan, and they especially
Okay, I'm
centered
into
around
it.
this cop. It's centered around this cop who is very money minded, and he finds different ways to make money on the side.
Oh, okay. That sounds like fun. Kuchikami
I
for
would
the
do
new
And
that.
year.
and there's Shinchan. There is Shinchan, but then Shinchan is like a Japanese version of, let's say, Peppa Pig. It teaches the
Yeah.
wrong stuff to kids. It teaches the wrong stuff to
It
kids.
really does. It
When you
really does.
mentioned Shin-Chan at the start of this, I was like, I haven't heard that name for years. I used to love watching that on Fox Kids.
I also used to watch Shin-Chan as a child, and I recently rewatched it, thinking, oh, maybe this could be something that is fun to like gives me like a thing of nostalgia. And I was like, oh no, this is teaching 100% teaching kids the absolute worst worst stuff. It's so rude, but quite fun.
But yeah, Pochikame
It's a
I think
different
is very
time.
underrated. Yeah, Pochikame is very underrated. I think that deserves a watch.
Oh,
Okay, great. That's going on the list. Thank you so much, Arjun. Any last
No
thoughts
way.
before we say goodbye?
yeah,
I'm just glad that you guys have called me on the show, and I would be happy to return sometime.
Oh, we'd
definitely.
love to have you back. Chris, you looked like you were about to say something.
Yeah, I just want to thank Arjun because I would never have picked this up. If I'd stumbled upon it and I'd thought that it was 1,000 episodes, it would have been intimidating. So I probably wouldn't have
Oh
started
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like One Piece. It took us so long to start this, because of the amount of episodes. And yeah, I think it is. There's a reason why there's that many episodes. Is good. And thanks for
Yeah,
introducing to us. Hopefully, I'll be able
No
to watch it
problem.
with my son soon.
I'm so
yeah,
very happy you guys decided to start watching it, and I would be more happy if you guys would have, would decide to continue watching it, because it
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely needs watching past 3 episodes.
I definitely will be watching past it because I really genuinely enjoyed it, and it was just like a good. It's a really good murder mystery of an anime series. That's like,
Right, and I just wanted
yeah,
to, how Nerdy Up North works is like how I send in reviews, every 2 weeks or something, and they decide to publish it. Like, can something be done for the anime page? Like, can I start reviewing animes which need more watch, and then you could, post reviews about it or something like that?
a hundred
Something like
percent.
that?
Please
yeah,
do. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We would love that. I mean, we probably will use those to then watch anime on Anime Club. So, like, we
Right,
will
right, right,
yeah.
steal.
right.
Like Mark Twain said.
Right.
But
It
no,
was
thank
really
you
great.
so much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
no,
very much.
it'd be great. Please, like, if you that's something you want to do, and that's always an open call to other people as well. You're always
And I
welcome
would like
to
to
come and
promote
talk about
this.
what you love.
Yeah, of course. And I would, love to contribute on a global scale. I mean, like, I would love to have the anime scale gain more recognition across the world, and like, just not be
Yeah,
limited to the UK for that matter.
absolutely not. No, no way. Oh, thank you so much, Arjun. Honestly, it's been an absolute honor having you with us. Um,
Thank you very much.
this is where I do the normal thing where I'm like, comment, subscribe. If you've also got some good anime for the new year that you will be good for us to watch, Chris and I, or with friends, then
Yeah.
please leave us a comment down below. And in the meantime, we'll have a good December, and we will see you live again in January. Bye, everyone.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Awkwardly wave. Yeah.